So I have to apologize to you guys for being away for so long. I appreciate y'all sticking around. And just for that, I got to come to y'all with some heat. But before we jump into the video, into the content of the video, please understand this is for education, or this is for entertainment purposes only. I just do this, for fun. I thoroughly enjoy looking at charts and interpreting price action, as you guys know. If you would like to learn, I'll leave some links in the description box that you can check out. And of course, you can always hit me up at my email, lance@bhcapitalenterprises.com, or you can leave a comment in the comment section or hit me up on social media. And that information will be in the description box as well. So let's go ahead and jump into today's video. So, a very simple, but not easy, a very simple day trading strategy using, I mostly use the 15-minute chart for this, but you guys can check it out on any other, on different time frames, the time frames that suit you. Um, and a bit of advice, anytime you are testing a new strategy, I recommend you start out by back testing that strategy extensively and then paper trading that strategy extensively and then throwing some of your actual real money at the strategy because you want to get comfortable. You want to see, how consistent the strategy is, and how well the strategy performs over time. And then and only then should you start to actually risk real capital trading that strategy. So let's jump into this simple day trading strategy that I tend to use in conjunction with my overall strategy. So one thing that I look at all the time when I'm sitting down with the intention to execute a day trade is, what is the pre-market volume looking like? Like, what is that information telling me? So I look for pre-market support and pre-market resistance, and I mark those areas. So I'm using Netflix here as an example, and I'm going to go through multiple charts to show you guys this. So one of the first things I do is I look to see where the price is bouncing at pre-market. And on this chart, Netflix chart, this is actually 5 days ago. The price was bouncing right around here in this area, and I call that pre-market support. My pre-market resistance is right up here in this area. Well, actually right here, because this is my pre-market candle here. So pre-market resistance is right around here. So I also mark that area. So there are a few different things that you can do in terms of building a strategy just around pre-market support and resistance. But I'm just going to go ahead and mark up pre-market support and resistance for the whole 5 day period. So this is a 15-minute chart over a period of 5 days. So for the next day, I'm looking at pre-market support right around here. And so I draw my trend line there. And pre-market resistance is pretty much right around here. Mark that. And here I got pre-market support. Well, my lowest point is right here at 345, but the majority is right here in this area. So I mark this area here. Pre-market resistance is right here. Go here. We got pre-market support level right here. And then we got pre-market resistance up here for that next day. And then that final day, which was today, we got pre-market resistance right up in here in this area. Sorry, I like to make sure that my trend lines are straight because I tend to extend them out. So, all right, so there's my pre-market support right there. All right, so let's go back to the first set of trend lines. So, three things that I'm looking for when it comes to this once I mark my levels from pre-market volume. So I'm looking at, is there a range? And if so, how wide is that range given the volatility of the instrument that I'm looking at? Netflix is a volatile instrument. So for me, in order to trade the range, I require a wider range for Netflix. But anyway, so I'm looking forward to see if there's a range and what is that range. Number two, I'm looking to see if the price can rise above resistance or if price rejects resistance. And I'm also looking to see if price either falls below support or it bounces from support. So, I mean, really, that was more than three things, but I kind of grouped them together. And so I build my plan around that information. At least if I'm planning to trade the open, right? So for Netflix this first day, notice there's a range between about 352 and up to 360. So that's a pretty decent range for Netflix. So really you can just trade this range and you can come into the session saying, "Hey, I'm not going to buy calls." You see Netflix is rising going into the open. And you can say, "I'm not going to buy calls until I get a confirmed beat of this level." So that way you're not chasing something that's about to top out, right? So as you can see, it rose above here a little bit, but it really was temporary. So it basically rejected that pre-market resistance, fell down toward this support level. So you can short it all the way down to, the low 350s. And then exit around this area. So you exit right around pre-market support, the pre-market support level. If you want to, you can buy calls again and ride it up to pre-market resistance once again and rinse and repeat and do it over and over and over again until the pattern is invalidated. And what invalidates the pattern is a breakdown at pre-market support or a breakout at pre-market resistance until, of course, the price comes back into that channel, which it can. So those are like three main things that I'm looking for. This next day, you can see that it pretty much ranged between it pretty much ranged just slightly outside of, about 345 and up to about 352. And that's an okay range for Netflix, but not one that I'd be willing to really risk a lot of money trying to play that range because Netflix can move 5 points in an instant. So for me, I needed to be closer to 10 points or more to play a range on this one. So one way that you could, possibly do this one with Netflix, kind of something similar. If the price rejects this area, I don't get calls until I get a confirmed breakout of that area. That's one, that's part A. Part two, I don't get calls unless the price holds at pre-market support. So two things looking for, if you're looking for a bullish play, is, hey, I look for either the price to hold at pre-market support, so the price does not go beyond or below your pre-market support level, or I look for the price to rise or break out above pre-market resistance. So those are the only two instances that in this strategy I would be looking for calls. If if neither two of those options happen, I'm not looking for any calls. Um, so a lot of times when you're seeing the price going toward pre-market resistance or toward that pre-market resistance level heading into the open, it will start to rise before the opening bell. So as you can see here, it's on an upward trend from that pre-market support level, and then at the open it kind of rises above it, and then it just comes right back down on that second candle. So you only got you got less than 15 minutes to try to play calls on this one. Not that it's not possible, but it's if you're just looking at the 15-minute chart, it would be difficult. You know what I'm saying? So in this instance, coming into the open, the price open right up here close to that trend line, I would not have touched this. Um, Having my trend line there. So you're looking at 349 and then you got pre-market resistance at 341. You got a 2 point move. That's not even that's not worth it with Netflix. So several times it came down into this demand zone or supply zone or not supply support zone, I mean. And you know, either you leave it alone or you take a chance, but really for me, seeing these wicks, especially at this first candle, you see this wick here, I'm knowing already that buyers are coming in right below this trend line, right? So these candles here aren't really confirming to me that, hey, Netflix is moving down. You know what I'm saying? So here you're just waiting, right? You're just waiting for a better signal to get calls, or maybe you're just done for the day after maybe shorting it here off the rejection at 350 and maybe coming down toward 346, 345, this demand zone, right? Um, Here you get a good opportunity to short, and what happens here is the price rises back above into the range, rejects pre-market resistance again, and then retests and confirms pre-market support as support, in which, hey, this is a pretty good entry here. And as you can see, the price finally breaks out pretty strong to a new high of day. So you go from about 346 up to 358 pretty much. That's a great range to play on Netflix. You know what I'm saying? And notice that it rose right back up into that pre-market, not pre-market, but supply zone from the previous high of day. So, boom, there's your exit. Same thing here. The price is ranging pretty tightly pre-market, so you know when you get a tight range, look for some volatility to potentially come into to the markets. And right before the markets open, it shoots up, and then immediately on that first candle, it shoots down and then confirms that level. So the fact that it held here, you got some buyers coming in here. Hey, it doesn't fall below that pre-market range, so I'm good to get calls right here. Not necessarily right at the open, but off that opening candle, I'm good to get calls. Um, the next day, let's see, similar type of situation where you got pre-market support here, you got pre-market resistance here, and I didn't draw it, my bad. Pre-market resistance right here, and you can say, hey, if the price rises above this pre-market resistance, then I'm gonna grab some calls. And what happens is Netflix opened right at pre-market resistance. It shot down just a little bit, but then it shot up pretty nicely, almost well over a 10 point move in the first 30 minutes of the session. So you're done for the day, really. Um, as you can see, it sells off. It prints a reversal candle right there at at the previous high of day, and sells off for a little while before just kind of ranging and tapering off for the rest of the day. So a couple of good opportunities to make money on during that time. The most difficult part about this strategy is just being patient and waiting for the right, waiting for confirmation really. And here, this day, you can see pre-market resistance, and the price just struggles all morning to get above that 363 level, which also happens to be where it struggled pretty much the whole week. And it just sells off all day, so beautiful, beautiful opportunity to ride Netflix from 363 all the way down to 340. So over a 20-point drop right there. That's big money on Netflix. So just simple strategy. Hey, if the price can't get above pre-market resistance, I'm going to buy puts. Simple. And then on yesterday, Netflix was just pretty much ranging coming into the session. And same deal. I'm not going to buy puts until I get a confirmed break of this trend line, or I'm not going to buy calls until either the price holds here or breaks here. And so there's a decent opportunity here. You got puts from about 337 down to about 330, so about 7-point move. So yeah, it's pretty simple, but like I said, not easy. Simple but not easy. Let's check out another ticker. See about Amazon. Let's check out Amazon. And in the interest of keeping this video as short as possible, I think Amazon may be the last one that I do. All right, so let's mark up the pre-market support and resistance right quick on Amazon. Pre-market support, resistance. Support is about right there. Um, Here on this day. And like I said, this isn't like 100% accurate or anything like that, but probably the majority of the time it's a pretty good guide for you um, when just kind of setting up a potential trade. So let's see here. And here. All right. Pre-market resistance right here. Pre-market support right here. Just about. And then pre-market resistance here. And support is about right there. And then today, there's your pre-market support. Pre-market resistance really is about, we got some right here. All right, so Amazon, same thing. You know what I'm saying? Ranging coming into the session, so you can expect or, possibly see some volatility. Tight range for Amazon, 26.66, I think. No, actually that's 28. Yeah, 28.68 up to 29.10ish. So yeah, that's a pretty decent range for Amazon. Amazon is another really volatile one. So keep that in mind. You definitely want to, pretty much the more volatile, the wider the range I like for things to be, if I'm going to play the range. So again, I'm buying puts off the rejection of pre-market resistance, or I'm buying puts off of a confirmed breakdown at pre-market support. And as you can see, price pre-market, it opened pretty much right at pre-market resistance, went up just a little bit and just pivoted the other way and fell over the course of the day. So simple, 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 simple. And here's the type of situation over these next two sessions where patience and discipline come into play, right? So you got you got Amazon trading between 27.70 approximately and 27.30. So about a 40-point range here. And Amazon can move that distance in a short period of time. As you can see, it had a wider range than that off the first 15 minutes of the session. So the price opened right at pre-market support level 27.30. It dipped down to 27.02. So a little demand zone here, and you can easily get you could have easily gotten um, beaten up here, jumping in puts, right away. So that's why you kind of want to look at multiple time frames as well when you're doing this, because the 15-minute chart isn't going to show that, hey, you got a confirmed breakdown of this level, but you may get one off like a 5-minute chart or lower. You know what I'm saying? So having those two in conjunction with one another, you're able to kind of see more information about what buyers and sellers are doing. So price rides from the low 2700s all the way up to 2770. So that's beautiful. Um, you could be patient here. You could try to play that range. Totally up to you. Next candle, it rejects that level and rides back down to pre-market support and tumbles down and makes a new low of day. So patience, discipline, all that good stuff. But if you get that right, you're done for the day. You know what I'm saying? And it really didn't trend on this day, so I would just after that I would have just been done. You know what I'm saying? The next day, price is just ranging, another little tight range between 27.55 approximately and 27.92, so almost 40 points. And it pretty much just stayed between that range all day. And usually when I see something ranging tightly like that, I kind of put it in my mind to be looking out for some news or something, because there's a lot of indecision going on here. And you could play that range, but personally, I probably wouldn't have. Okay, so this day got a bit of a wider range here, but still not a lot of volatility, especially after this big jump uh, after the company announced that they were doing the 20-for-1 splitting of their shares. Um, so this day here, the price played the range coming into the open and broke down slightly, but just kind of traded flat for most of the day. And then finally, at the end of the day, you got, or close to the end of the day, so about power hour, going into power hour, the price finally broke down that pre-market resistance and hit that new low of day. So a nice, nice, nice move. And that was Friday on Amazon once it broke that 2950s area and actually moved down about 50-point move down in a little over an hour. Today's session, same type of situation where the price bounced pre-market at that pre-market support, hit resistance at the open, and almost immediately rejected that once it did. Got a confirmed breakdown, and the price really, really, really just plummeted over the course of the day. So that's pretty much it, y'all. Remember, backtest extensively, paper traded, and then paper traded extensively, and then throw some live money at it. But look at some 15-minute charts, check out some other time frames as well, and see if you see the same type of situation. And I've done this, with many, many, many different tickers, and so I decided to bring that and share this with you guys, and hopefully y'all find some value in it. And if you have any questions or concerns, hit me up, and I'll catch you in the next video.